Friday. We made it. You made it. I made it. We made it. We made it to Friday. How's everybody doing? How's the week been for y'all, man? How's the week, chat? How you guys doing? Did you hear the bell yet? I didn't hear no bell. To be honest, though, yeah, it's not looking good. We'll know for sure after this weekend, I think. How's the weed? I have no idea what you're talking about, but it's good today. Woo! Heat up those spoon. Wait, what? Jesus. Aw, shit. Here we go again. Yeah, man. Here we go again. Where's the who dicky? You guys ever hear that word? Who dicky? It's a real word. It's in Webster's dictionary thing. Anyway, first time I've caught a live. What's up, man? Motorsport Nick. How are you, man? How's the week been for you? Put a 1 if you're a weekend. Yeah. If you're the weekend, throw a 1 into the chat. Who's Dicky? Just some butthole. Don't make fun of his name, Josh. I know. Well, you know what? Yeah, I do sort of feel bad about Mills Financial Group. You know what I mean? Yeah, my bad. Hey, Mr. Mills Financial Group guy. My bad, okay? Shit. All right, I was all fired up. Chat was being a bunch of buttholes, you know. The MCU's fucking dead and shit. So it's been a tough week. Grip it and rip it, Nerd Avengers. What is happening with this chat today? What is happening right now, guys? Rosse, thank you for the rose, brother. Hope you're doing well. You really hurt Mill's feelings. No, I did, and you know the thing is, I apologize. You know, like I think the word is like crash out on chat. It's happened a couple times. You know, let's not make a habit of it, though. But occasionally it happens. I think it happens to all streamers. You know, there's something about the job that just makes you occasionally, just every so often, have to admonish and lash out at the very people that have given you an audience and a platform. So it's just, you know, just part of the gig. But also, whatever's happening to the channel where everybody's name is all funky, that's kind of, you know, he actually does have a point on that one. Because he didn't choose his name to be Mills Financial Group. Like, that's a YouTube thing. And so it is a little fucked up that I'm like, oh, Mills Financial Group, really cool name, you fucking dingus. And in all actuality, like, that's not his fault. He didn't do that, you know? So... Golden Dude Movie Review says, Josh, I think your new camera rocks. Hey, thanks, bud. Yeah, I think it's all right. Den of Mills Financial Group. Maybe I'll call them and hire them as my financial advisors because I feel bad or whatever, you know? Why did you make fun of my name? I'm gonna cry. Well, your name sucks, Michael Hayes I7196. Stupidest fucking name I ever heard. People are too sensitive these days. You did nothing wrong. Well, you know, like, to be fair, yes, a little bit of truth in what you're saying. But at the same time, I probably did go a bit far on him. I think the truth is he was the first guy in chat that was, like, just giving me some lip. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Like, I was obviously kind of ready to be triggered and be upset yesterday. And so, like, he came in, he said something completely innocuous. He was like, I think he was like, I'm personally not that excited for Doomsday or something. And then I was just like, oh, all right, well, this dude's gonna get it now. This dude's gonna get it now. Why do you hide your wedding ring? I don't hide my wedding ring, man. I just don't wear it, you know? It's one of those Nunya situations, you know? Fame kills. It's one of those Nunya situations. You should look it up. Josh, what did you do now? I don't know. I guess I mocked this guy and all that. Yeah. Den of Hidden Wedding Rings. Yeah, exactly. Josh, why do you Josh? I don't even know. I don't know. Why does anybody, you know? Whoa. Josh is heralding the end of that dude. Nah, it's fine. You know, we're being very chill on a Friday. You know, we're gonna have it be very chill today. Where's your coffee? God, you guys are like really concerned. You know, I'm glad. Is there anything else you want to check on me? You know, we got the coffee right here. Anything else you want to know about? Huh? Should we just jump right to the end, turn and cough kind of situation? What is happening here? I saw Fantastic Four yesterday. What a movie! I couldn't stop smiling for most of the film. I love the movie, dude. I love that film, and I would like to see it again. Happy birthday, Josh. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Rossi says with a $5 fucking hauler, I hope we talk about what Marvel is going to do if Secret Wars fails today. It's so close in the future. Yo, did it? Real talk though. When we were speaking to this yesterday, and I brought up the shit about Athena, does that like register for you guys? Because to me, it's like it was when I realized that, which is basically I'll say it again for people that weren't here. My daughter's 7 months old, and to me, she's a little baby. Like she's still a little baby. Like she can't like do much, you know. And the reality is, when Doomsday releases, the Doomsday film, she will be like 8 days away from being 2 years old. So like, I don't know if anybody like can see. If you have kids, you probably know. You're like, yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it's gonna come fast, but it's also like that's a lot of time. So yeah, we got some time. We got some times, guys and girls, before Doomsday. But thank God, because we also kind of need it, I think, too. I won't be in my 30s anymore. True. I'll be just about out of my 30s, man. I'll be into my 40s. I'm an old man up here, man. You guys don't understand. Like, I was there when the Deep Lore was written, you know? Don't quote that shit to me, witch. Okay? I've been here. I survived all the meme wars. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I've done it all. I'm at the tippity top and I'm only halfway up. Think about it. My daughter turned 2 yesterday. Oh, that's fantastic, man. That's awesome. Got to be a good feeling. How's she doing? You know what we should do, guys? To celebrate Adam's daughter turning 2, you know what we should do? Like the fucking stream. 141 likes? The fuck out of here. I know it's early. We only got like 500 in here. But I'm still going to need those likes. Don't do it for me, though. Do it for Adam's daughter that just turned 2 years old. You should talk about Bitcoin being the savior of mankind. If money wasn't broken, the world would only progress. You know, I like Bitcoin a lot. I have some Bitcoin, but also, you know, I actually think quantum computing and AI could break Bitcoin. Like, literally. I actually think that's a possibility. But yeah, no, I mean, hey, take your shot, man. Take your shot, you know? It's a good shot. I think the crypto shot's a pretty good shot. She's number 3 and a maniac? Dude, that's cool. Impossible? Nope, not impossible. How old will Liam be when Doomsday comes out? Close to 5. Or 4? 3, 4. He'll be 4.5, basically. Want to get into Warhammer books, and my fave is the Necrons. What book should I read? The Infinite and the Divine. The Infinite and the Divine is apparently one of the best Warhammer books ever. I actually need to read it just based off that. And also, I'm interested in learning more about the Necrons and the Silent King and all that. But yeah, the Infinite and the Divine is apparently titties, bro. So I would definitely get that. I actually started the Cypher novel last night. I just got done rereading Lion, Son of the Forest again. Oh my God, such a good book. And now I'm working on the Cypher novel, which I've never read the Cypher novel, but it is fucking great so far. Really cool. You blocked me on X and I don't know why. I think you do know, Matt. I think you do know. It's because you were trying to besmirch America on July 4th. And it's like, it's just one of those things where you're willing to be that guy, and I'm willing to say, I don't want that guy to be in my feed. It's that simple. You know? And it's really not that personal or whatever. You're just that guy. That's who you are. What happened yesterday with Gina and Disney? I'll never support them again. It just shows they don't care. Says Garcia. Garcia, are you serious? Are you serious? Is that a real opinion, or are you a troll? Because I feel like there's a couple of different options here. I feel like you're either a troll, like a total troll, like you're just in here to like stir it up, or you're a real butthole, or you're a bot. You know? I think those are the only options. It is interesting though when it comes to Gina, and I do have the Gina thing in my notes because it's wild and I actually can't wait to get into it. I think it's kind of interesting. But I wonder if, like, frankly, like, one of the things that I think is so difficult about the Gina situation is I legitimately think, although maybe in a moment you could argue she leaned into some things based off of like the context of that whole situation, I generally think Gina is just a really sweet lady that got swept up in some bullshit during maybe one of the most heated moments in human history, when we were all stuck inside and thought the world was melting and shit. I think what happened to her is really silly, but I also don't know how many people are willing to accept that, you know? Like, that's my reality of it. Maybe some people truly do believe she was like whack as fuck or crossed the line or whatever, and that's fine. I mean, I don't think you're a bad person if you think that. I really struggle with how people don't see what happened in that situation. You know what I mean? Like, at the very least, because, like, to be honest with you, like, I hadn't talked a lot about the Gina thing at all. Number one, it's just that's not my thing. I don't really like wading into those waters, right? But also, you know, just out of respect for maybe some of the people involved and some of the people I know or whatever, I didn't really want to weigh in on it. But I was actually a little bit critical of some of the moves she made in the interim after that, and some of the stuff she said, because didn't she do Rogan? I believe she did Rogan, or she did a big podcast. I forget which one. And I remember, like, I watched that, and I actually had the opposite opinion of a lot of folks, which is to say that to me, it just seemed like she was admitting that she got red-pilled during a crazy moment and didn't really know the full context of everything she was talking about, right? Where, like, a lot of people watched that episode and they were like, oh, dude, Gina did nothing wrong. And I'm not necessarily saying she did anything wrong, but I walked away from that podcast thinking, like, oh, this poor girl, like, she just got red-pilled at a crazy time, made a couple of comments, super high profile, tension's crazy, and then she made the horrible mistake of not backing down, and then it, like, becomes a thing or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really think it's that deep. Like, I just think it's truly, I do not think she did anything to warrant the actions, the firing, or whatever. Now, here's the other side of this, and we're kind of like getting into it anyway. I kind of wanted to wait, but the other side of it is, if you're a corporation or a company, you have the ability to fire, hire, do whatever you want, and there are considerations you can take that I think you're justified in taking. Where Disney fucked up was when they made the comments on social media, which expressed that it said something about her, like, heinous comments or some shit like that. That's where they fucked up. Because, like, for instance, like, I'll explain it like this. In Pennsylvania, right? I think I forget what it's called, but you can fire somebody for no reason. Like, you don't need a reason to fire somebody. I forget what it's called, but like, there's a name for it, right? And in PA, if you fire somebody, you don't have to give them a reason. But here's the issue. If you choose to give them a reason, at will employment, interesting. So the flip side of that is, if you do give them a reason, then they can come after you for like wrongful termination. Right? So like I've seen this before where somebody got fired and like the manager fucked up and said like it was because of tardiness. And then like the person can sue or whatever and basically be like, do you have any proof that I was continuously tardy? And if there's no proof or whatever, like they can come after the person. So basically, like if Disney had just said, this is my understanding of it. I'm not a lawyer. This is just my understanding of it. If Disney had just said, we have parted ways with Gina Carano. We wish her well, but no longer will be working with her. Just difference of beliefs and blah, blah, blah. Like basically give no reason whatsoever. They probably would have been fine. The problem was they literally put in writing, and I'm pretty sure it was on social media. It might have even been comments from Kathleen Kennedy herself. They called her like heinous and racist. And like, from a legal position, that's just hard to like quantify, right? So like the burden of proof would be on them to explain how what she did or said would represent some heinous racist behavior, right? And just legally, that's hard to quantify. You wouldn't be able to win like that. I think from a strictly moral perspective, like we all know what happened. It was like a political thing. But yeah, we'll talk more about it because I think the truth is, if you look at the statement made by Disney, she clearly had Disney by the balls. This is a crazy fucking statement. Like, this is like, oh, Gina might now be the highest paid Star Wars actor of all time. You know what I mean? Like, that was, I don't know, man. Like, I looked at that statement and I was like, holy shit. Like, she fucking got him. Like, about as good as you can get him. Because that's a crazy statement. Consider the company, consider their positions on these sort of things. God damn. That's crazy. Kyle Johnson says, do you think it would be a good idea for the Marvel to split into two? Studios for movie and Kevin in charge, and then a new studio for television and hire a president. It would give Marvel room to breathe. Yeah, and first of all, thanks for the 10 spot, man. That's generous. What I will say is this has already kind of happened. Marvel has already kind of segmented into Marvel Television, Marvel Studios, Marvel Gaming, and Marvel Comics. So this segmented way of doing things has already started. Marvel Television, it's kind of interesting, man. They've obviously really fucked up the Disney Plus shows over the past couple of years. But to be fair, there was a lot of stuff that they just didn't do, and they were thinking they didn't need to. So, for instance, they did not have showrunners. They would have their lead writers leave a project and then kind of have the show running-esque duties spread between, like, new writers, executives. Like, it was just a terrible system. On top of that, it did all run through Parliament and through Marvel, like basically Marvel Studios, the film division. So they have already started to do that. Brad Winderbaum is in charge of Marvel Television. And I think there's a lot of like recalibrating over there in general as far as who's going to be doing what shows and whatnot. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it all leads to, but they are already kind of doing that. Casino Prince says, Josh is my comfort stream. Been living and working in France for a year, so you're my main source of hearing English. That's dope, man. Hey, do they have good croissants and shit over there? I just randomly saw a video today. Not to make this all about croissants, but here we go. I just randomly saw a video today of people making croissants. Oh my goodness, bro. It looked so yummy. Made me definitely want some croissants. You know? I'm definitely trying to get some croissants. And I think you have to say it like that when you're in France too. Oh man, I just have so many questions now. Now, do you do like a French accent at all? Do you ever like just go out for a day and just try to be like, I wonder how many French people I can trick into thinking I'm French? Like, how many croissants could you order before they... And then also, too, do they get mad about that? Would the French get mad if you were attempting a terrible French accent in front of them and stuff? You do that once a month? Perfect. Prices go up. Meanwhile, tech is deflationary at heart, but the results don't show. Totally. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about the Bitcoin shit. Yeah. Thank you for reading the super chat. Appreciate everything you do. My question was originally long, but I had to cut it down for character cap. Oh, it's all good, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support, man. Yeah. How many, dude? You think I could convince some Frenchies? I'm French, guys. Guys, okay. So Voc67 is French. How good is my French accent? Let's try this. Oui, like the croissant. Just tell me straight up. How good are we? Bonjour, dude. I love that scene in Inglourious Bastards where Brad Pitt is being goaded. What is he saying? Fuck. What did they have him saying? Delete the stream? Why? Trash? It's a horrible accent? It's a trash accent? What? I thought it was really good. Buongiorno. Yeah. Dude, that shit was awesome. That was Italian, but still. So good, bro. Top 3 anime you're watching right now. I'm not really watching a lot of anime currently. I know there's new Dan to Dan, and I like Dan to Dan, so I want to get back into that. We were just talking this morning a little bit, like my wife and I, about how, because the kids are going to grandma's this weekend, and we just, dude, thank God, because it's been a hell of a week, man, with the dog and everything that's going on. It's just been crazy. So we've been just talking, dude, we just want to chill out tonight and watch anime. So we're going to binge some anime tonight. We might even go get some popcorn from the theater and just binge some anime and just chill out. So do you guys have any recommendations? I've been thinking about going back in and watching some of Lazarus again. I really like Lazarus, dude. That was a fun series, and I kind of want to rewatch it, at least maybe some of the last couple of episodes. Watch Black Lagoon. Fifi! Always good to see you. Black Lagoon. That one sounds familiar. I don't know if I've seen it, though. You know, we also got, a while ago, we got some stuff on 4K, like the 97 Berserk show, which is like one of my favorites. And then Akira we have in 4K too, so. But we technically don't have a 4K player, bro. Like, I didn't realize 4K Blu-ray players were, like, hard to come by. What is this? What is this world? Military thriller. Cool. Cool. I also want to watch a little bit of Escaflowne. I just been kind of thinking of, I think I saw some clip on Twitter or something. I was just like, yo, I used to love Escaflowne, bro. Escaflowne is fucking cool. Like, it's really cool. So maybe we'll watch some Escaflowne, like we'll watch the movie or something. Yeah, any of y'all playing the Battlefield 6 beta? I thought about getting on this weekend, you know? Kind of cool. They're doing the free beta for everybody this weekend. Seems kind of fun. The series Dark on Netflix. You know what's interesting about that, Jay, is I did start it again. I had tried it several years ago. I couldn't get into it. I started watching it again. I think I got a couple episodes in, and I'd like to finish it. And part of the reason why, watch the Fantastic Four anime. Part of the reason why is because I've heard that it actually represents actual disclosure and some of the stuff that they think is like really going on with, you know, time travel, interdimensional beings, maybe simulation theory. There's some people out there that are suggesting that the show Dark is one of the most accurate depictions of like what this actually is, and a lot of stuff might be revealed in that show. Kind of made me more interested in it. So, yeah, maybe I'll check it out soon. Always heard it was good too, you know? Always heard it was pretty cool. Darkest Peak. Yeah, always heard it was really good, man. I don't know. It just starts a little slow for me. Blade dropped on Rivals. I know. I was thinking about hitting the homies up, seeing if they want to get a session this weekend in, man. Do some Marvel Rivals. And then also, so Monday, I don't know if I told you guys, but Monday, my best buddy and his family are coming up to Erie. And we're going to get the kids together, take the kids to the beach. But me and my buddy are sneaking away to play some Warhammer. Let's go! Oh, dude, that means I got to do some painting this weekend. Because I want to get some of my dudes ready for Monday. It'll be fun. I'll take some pictures. I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys how cool my army is. On the table. Yeah, I know. Let's see here. Ethical Prod says, watch Attack on Titan if you haven't seen it. For anyone who isn't into anime, it's a great opener into anime world. Nerd Ventures for life. Yeah, Attack on Titan is really cool, man. I sort of fell off when it had that big delay back in the day. Because, like, the thing is, Attack on Titan is still really popular, and it's still a really big deal. But it had a moment, man, where it was, like, the biggest thing in the fucking world, dude. Attack on Titan had that, like, Pokemon Go moment, and then it was just delayed for, like, several years. Tough. But, to be fair, a lot of the material that it eventually gets into is incredible. With, like, the time travel stuff, the whole, like, class system and the reveal about the rest of the world and the sort of ancestral stuff. Oh, dude, it's really cool. So, yeah. Maybe I would go back in and watch it all, but, yeah. Andre, what up, brother? Says, oh, baby, we're going to 6 years. Holy shit. Much love to you and the fam Nerd Avengers. Be the best you can be. Hell yeah, appreciate that, man. Thank you for the love. Almost 6 years? Some of y'all been with me for 6 years? Holy shit. Chris Beach with a $20 holla, man. That's very generous. Thank you, man. Says, hey, Josh, much love to you. Do you think Marvel Rivals is still healing that brand damage? With Blade dropping today before getting the Blade movie made me think. I think so. I think it's doing some heavy lifting for the brand. I think the Tokon game will as well. Yeah, I think, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I do think Marvel's going to be fine. It very well could be the case, though, that this version of the MCU does have to go away, and we need a new version of it. Like, what I'm sort of, and what I'm going to be looking for next year, of course, is like, can the MCU still be this major force and pillar for the brand, or is it really time for the MCU as it was to go away and for us to more lean into the actual Marvel brand? Like, legitimately, I think Punisher's a really strong brand. Spider-Man's a strong brand. X-Men, Avengers, these are strong brands. But the MCU itself and the MCU-ification, I think the jury is still out on how much has that been fatigued? How much has that whole system and idea been fatigued in the mind of audience? We're going to find out. Maybe they'll adjust and it'll be fine. You know, Spider-Man looks really cool. I think Doomsday's going to be lit. So they could be right back to it. But regardless of that, I think, like, Marvel needs really strong comics, right? So, whatever they're doing in comics needs to be really good. I think they're making this big cosmic push with the Imperial books and all that sort of stuff. Seems like they got some ideas for the X-Men line. So they have to keep that going and being competitive. I think the video games have to be very good. And every really great Marvel video game does a great amount of lifting for the brand. I don't know. I mean, I wish they would cancel shows and do way less shows. But even then, if some of these shows are cool, I suppose that helps. Yeah, I think video games are a huge part of this. And also, I would say this. When it comes to DC versus Marvel right now, I think one of the last places that Marvel really still has just such a clear advantage is the video game realm. DC video games have been pretty ass. That Suicide Squad live service game was such a disappointment. And it's hard to imagine gamers, the gaming community, giving the next DC game, a super fair shot. However, if it's great, I think gamers will appreciate that. That's what happened with Rivals. Like, Rivals is just really good, better than a lot of people gave it credit for initially. And that has created a sort of snowball effect. And I know the game has sort of fallen off its pedestal a bit, but I still think they're doing huge numbers. I think Rivals to this day is probably the most successful live service game we've seen roll out, like what, in the next 3 or 4 years, or the past 3 or 4 years? Yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Andrew says, if I was running DC, I announce Robert Pattinson as DCU Batman, but keep bats away from other heroes until Reeves is done with his trilogy, then level up Matt Reeves' Batman to Justice League. I like that, man. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Fortnite? I think the Fortnite collaboration for Superman was great. I think it was great. I didn't play it personally, but I've seen it pop off on social media. People seem to like it. So, yeah, I think that was a great collaboration for them. But, like, we'll see. If they nail it with a really good DC video game, then hell yeah, we're off to the races. All right, ladies and gentlemen, should we get into the news? Should we get into the topics for today? By the way, just kind of a chill-ass stream today, man. We're going to go over 3 main topics. We got some DC news. We got some Star Wars news with Gina. And then we've got Sadie Sink as Gwen Stacy, perhaps, in the Spider-Man movie, which I think is pretty cool as well. Now, I also wanted to make mention, guys, and I'll bring this up, because I know a lot of you are finally realizing that Warhammer is the future and that we're all about Warhammer over here. So I should probably make mention of the fact that basically the Warhammer Olympics are going on this weekend. What I'm talking about is the World Team Championships. And it's kind of cool. Like, each country gets a team of 6 different players. They all do different armies. They all play at the same time. There's like a point differential system. Right now you're looking at Canada playing against Austria. And then over here we have Norway versus Australia. And I'm going to be watching this a lot over the weekend because I want Team USA to win. Team USA I believe they got to the finals last year and lost to Sweden, which is fucked. So hopefully Team America goes all the way and wins. So yeah, just wanted to keep you. Maybe we'll go look at how these games are doing after. Look at all the Scottish teams wearing their kilts. That's kind of funny. We'll check back in with the results maybe towards the end of the stream because I know everybody's really fucking concerned about it. Because we all know that Warhammer's the future! Right? Anybody? Hello? Chat? Wait, where'd everybody go? What the fuck happened? Hey, also, I need more likes, dude. I'm sorry. I gotta be that guy. I need more fucking likes. Just over 300 is not good enough. I'm going back to bed. You know what I mean? 300 fucking likes. Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway, let's get into this. Let's talk about this, man. So we got big DC news, and it's a super big deal, but it's also like potentially very telling for what is going on with DC, right? Okay, so the Batman Part 2. We got our first details about the plot, the characters, the script coming from one Jeff Snyder, which by the way, did you guys know that Matt Reeves follows Jeff Snyder on social media? Look at this. It's crazy. Followed by Matt Reeves. The fuck? Jeff, what the fuck? Anyway. Okay, so Jeff Snyder put in his newsletter late last night, the Batman Part 2 to shoot this spring. Sources say the script introduces Robin and really goes for it in a big way. This is from Jeff's newsletter, which, by the way, I subscribe to Jeff's newsletter. I recommend you do it as well. we got to support the people in the space that are actually breaking news, that are actually like unafraid of the studios, and that also, post bikini pics on their Twitter and are absolutely goddamn ridiculous. So I love Jeff as is, and so I support him via his newsletter. This morning, David Zaslav sent a letter to Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders announcing that DC Studios boss James Gunn is already preparing to write the next installment of the Super Family, setting off a wave of fresh speculation about what exactly Gunn is working on. Zaslav also mentioned the 10-year vision for the DC universe includes shows like The Penguin, and he confirmed that The Batman Part 2 will finally start filming this spring ahead of its planned release, theaters October 2027. What? What the fuck? I sat down with a well-placed source this week, Matt Reeves, and asked about the Batman sequel, and this person told me the script was worth the wait. They described it as a big swing for director Matt Reeves and his co-writer Mattson Tomlin, and said that the duo is really going for it, with the uncompromising sequel, which is expected to be as dark as its 2022 predecessor, which grossed $772 million worldwide. They also mentioned that the character of Robin is a part of the script, which should pique the interest of agents across Hollywood. I didn't press for too many more details, but it sounded like everyone at DC Studios is extremely pleased with the direction Reeves is going in with the Batman Part 2 now that the script has been turned in. Okay. So let's talk about the basics here before talking about the elephant in the fucking room, okay? Number one, it's super cool that it's worth the wait. We probably all expected that, man. I mean, I think Matt, he takes his time with his scripts, but they're usually very good, very complex. So that's good. They're really going for it. That's interesting. I wonder what that means. In what sense are they going for it? Is it like spectacle? Is it psychological? It seems as though you're definitely going to get a lot of darkness. There were even some rumors that the first Batman film was way too dark and that DC pulled back on some of the mental health stuff with Bruce Wayne himself. Because it's like, from the corporation's perspective, it's hard to sell Batmobiles and shit when the movie's trying to do like a deconstruction of Batman as a mentally ill product of society, right? It's like those two things don't necessarily match together. But it is interesting that it's going to be super dark like that. That's cool. This Robin thing is awkward. Okay, it's awkward. And I wonder if Jeff, look, does Jeff know that this is awkward? Like he didn't couch it in that way. It's not like he's necessarily bringing this up, but so here's the problem, chat, and we'll talk about this now. The only thing we really know about Gunn's plan for Batman is that it involves Robin, and not just Robin, but a very specific Robin. It involves Damian Wayne. It involves Damian Wayne, who's obviously not the first, second, or even third Robin, I don't think. He is a Robin that happens after Dick has aged and has become Nightwing. So, years and years into the future. And it is, of course, Batman's biological son, right? So Damian Wayne, biological son. That's literally all we know about the plans for the DCU Batman. That's basically it. That's all we know. Okay? So can you imagine if you're James Gunn, okay, and, you haven't read the script, right? You haven't read the Batman script. You're hearing about it. Other people have apparently read it. There's rumors out there, this, that, second, and the third. You haven't read it. And then all of a sudden, you read the script, and this motherfucker, Matt Reeves, is doing Robin in the Batman. Like, look, one of two things is going on here, okay? Number one, it could just be the case that they're merging. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's not that surprising. In fact, maybe Robin was put into Reeves' Batman because they do want to eventually bring those characters together, and maybe it'll be Damian Wayne maybe it'll be Dick, and then we'll see a time jump, and then Dick will be aged up, and then you have like the establishment of that relationship, and you have Pattinson as the DCU Batman in the future, maybe older Dick, and then Damian. Okay, that's the first possibility. The other possibility here, though, is that they are not working together. And if they're not working together, I got to tell you, man, if I was James Gunn and I read that shit, I would be fucking furious. I would be furious. Like, you're telling me that not only do we have another Batman that's already successful, and they're going to just continue doing this as I'm building a whole DC universe, kind of like without fucking Batman, because we don't want to have two Batmans at the same time. Gunn himself said we don't want to have those movies released within the same calendar year. He just said that. He was like, yeah, you probably wouldn't want Batman Part 2 and the DCU Batman to be in the same calendar year. And yet, Gunn continues to play kind of cagey about whether or not the merger will actually happen. Will Matt Reeves' Batman be the DCU Batman? Are they figuring that out? So I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Because I've seen a lot of people look at this and they're like, oh, they're obviously merging. And the reason people are walking away from this thinking that is like, because there's no fucking way they would do two Batmans and two Robins at the same time. That's insanity. Like, that is legitimately crazy. So, I mean, look, maybe I get accused, and I think just in the fandom in general, we get accused of making mountains over molehills, of applying narrative to things when there's not a narrative there, maybe dramatizing things. I gotta be honest, like, I don't know any other way to look at this than it's either they're working together or they're really, really not working together. Right? Because, like, dude, if I was Gunn, I'll just be like, Matt, like, I feel you got this big script. Can you just not do Robin? Like, what if you just didn't do Robin? Like, what if you just didn't have Robin a part of this thing? You know? Because that feels crazy to me. Like, that just feels like the worst possible way that you're gonna fucking do it. Like, the only thing that would be worse is if in this report from Jeff Snyder, it was Matt Reeves wants to do his version of Damian Wayne. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my fucking God, bro. That's the only way it could be worse. So I just think it's really come down to they are either tricking us all and really working together, or they are really not working together. And there's all these like little things, right? So like I'm reminded of when Matt just dipped out from the fucking Superman preview. Do you remember the comments Gunn made? And when you actually see the comments, it's not necessarily as bad, but he's like, I haven't read it yet. I want to try to read it on the plane, but I might fall asleep and all this. It's like little things. It just feels messy. It feels like there's like a little bit of like subtext. Maybe we're reading too far into it. Maybe everybody's just stressed and trying to figure it out. But like, dude, Matt Reeves shows up for the Superman premiere and then he dipped the fuck out, didn't do a single interview, didn't answer a single question. He was just like, okay, see ya, And it's like, what does that mean? I don't know. And look, here's the other thing. Like, I personally believe that Superman is doing exactly what it needed to do. I think it is operating well enough, considering the context, to warrant more and to make James Gunn the guy. I believe that. And I don't even like James Gunn, but that just is what it is. Like, the movie, to me, in my objective opinion, is doing numbers good enough to make him the guy, to make this the plan, and to do it. However, I gotta say, if I were Matt Reeves and I'm looking at the box office here and I'm like, this movie's not even going to make as much as mine, and I came out pretty close to lockdown, if I were Matt Reeves, I can totally understand. I'd be like, my Penguin show got Emmys. Like, it's dude, they are in a pickle. Like, if they are actually fighting behind the scenes, they both have legitimate arguments to be the DC. Like, it's not like Matt, like, what's Matt, like, seriously, who could argue against Matt, right? Like, his movie legitimately is made more money than Superman. His show was more successful than Gunn's shows. Like, he deadass has every right to say, no, it should be me. At the very least, it should be us separately. You know what I mean? And to be fair, like, let me ask you this. I think the answer to this is obvious, but who needs who more, right? Who needs who more? Like, another way to think of that is, like, who has the leverage? I mean, I think Matt Reeves has all the leverage. Essentially, Matt, like, can force Gunn to either not do Batman for a long time or to try to compete with a already operating successful Batman. That's incredible leverage. And it's clear that Reeves does not need Gunn. His stuff was already working. Gunn is working too, though. Like, Gunn has a strong argument. Like, Superman is a very big success for them. Here's the way I would say it. I think Gunn needs Reeves much more than Reeves needs Gunn. But I think DC probably needs this to happen more than anybody. I think the fans need this. I think the company needs this. I think Matt should play ball. At the end of the day, I really do think Matt should just play ball. If he doesn't, I will not think ill of him. I totally understand it. I think he has every right to do that. He carved this whole path. Totally get it. But at one point, Matt was going to do a Ben Affleck Batman. He was willing to play ball with the old regime. I mean, maybe after the success, he's just less willing to. I don't understand exactly what's going on. But, like, dude, I think the obvious move here for the fans, for the companies, for the sake of the universe, is to merge them. I really think that's the move. But at the same time, like, I'm like a broken record here, but every time I think that, it's like, but also, yeah, Matty Reeves has every fucking right to just stand 10 toes down and just be like, I don't care about any of this corporate consideration. I don't care about any of this fucking bullshit fan bullshit. I'm in it to make my vision, and I do not want to compromise on that. Like, I completely understand that. So if that's what's happening, they're in a fucking pickle, dude. Can you imagine? And then the whole thing is, like, from Warner Brothers' perspective, right? Like, they just want it to all seem like it's all the same thing and everybody's getting along. It's such a pickle, bro. It's such a fucking pickle. And the other thing that's really funny about it, and I shouldn't say it's funny because, like, you know, it's a very serious thing. But the other thing that's, like, really funny about this is, maybe I shouldn't say it. I just, DC has an advantage over Marvel in the fact that Warner Brothers purchased the entire catalog years ago. And so they have access to all the different characters, okay? Marvel does not have that. Marvel had to, like, sort of sell off parts of itself license-wise in the 90s and slowly acquire them back. And they're still having issues with that with Spider-Man, Hulk, distribution, all sorts of stuff. What should be a clear advantage for DC, insofar as Warner Brothers has all the characters, is actually not able to be a benefit of them because of this situation. Like, dead ass. Like, I don't know, man. Like, somebody should probably break all this down to Matt and just be like, dude, look, he could just be like, I don't fucking care. But at the same time, like, you should probably just hear it all, Matt. Like, you should just hear this all because I don't know, man. At what point could you convince him? If he's not convinced at this point, I don't know. But goddamn, dude, DC should have the ability to just go. And yet they're not. The irony being, of course, Gunn had no problem doing that to Snyder, right? Like he had no problem being, because Snyder would have been willing to continue doing his shit, and he had no problem being like, nope. But for whatever reason, they can't do that to Batman. I guess just because of the $770 million. Holy shit, man! It's crazy. So, yeah, that's the latest, guys, and I think this story is going to make some waves. I wonder if we'll get any clarification on it. Over the weekend or the next couple of days. We'll probably talk about this next week, man. Crazy times for DC, crazy times for Marvel, man. What do you guys make of this? What do you make of this? So is Robin going to be throwing ass in the movie? I mean, kicking ass? Hey, whoa, hey, oh, goddamn, Justin, goddamn. Get that Diddy energy out of here, man, you know? This ain't the den of Diddy. Holy. Henry Cavill as Night Lord, Primarch, Batman. That would be fucking epic, dude. I don't think he's going to do that, but that would be awesome. Gunn is a good director. He's being respectful to Matt Reeves. That could be what's happening. I don't know for sure, but yeah, I mean, sure, that could be happening. I think Gunn is very respectful to, like, you know, creators in the space, at least, like, sort of publicly or whatever. Bubba Bang says, I don't know about you, but Pattinson's Batman just doesn't seem mature enough or old enough to mentor someone like Damian. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I wonder what the time jump will be if there is one. But, yeah, you're right. I think the Reeves Batman, like, dude, Reeves Batman is so uninterested in comic book shit. It is really like just his version of, like, if the shit was real. And Gunn's version of the DCU is so comic booky. They would have to do a lot to merge them. I still think it's worth it. Like, I still think the benefit would outweigh the cost there. And if they could play nice, it would be cool. If they could play nice. Ascending Rumble says, I still think they're going to go straight into Damian isn't the move. I understand going out with Grayson as Nightwing, but we need the GOAT, Tim Drake. Yeah, Tim Drake's cool. I like Tim Drake. Yeah, who knows, man? Maybe they'll do something like that. I don't know. I just think this is the most interesting, potentially the most disastrous part of what DC is doing right now. Like, they're kind of standing in their own way. Yeah, it's tough. I feel like you're talking as if these conversations aren't happening, that they're all mad at each other. These things are actively being discussed and talked through. I don't totally understand what you're saying there, you know? Conversely, how about Cavill as Hank Henshaw? Oh, 100%, man. Incredible. That would be so cool. Hell yeah. The tones are just so different. Yeah, the tones are different, but the tone is not the issue to me. It's more the logic of the world. It's like the diegetic lived-in worlds are vastly different, you know? Like, DCU Batman, if Lex Luthor is creating pocket dimensions and shit, then DCU Batman should be creating Brother Eye. He should be creating the Omax, essentially. Like, Batman should be on another level. He's basically Lex Luthor level, just different tactics. You know? Tim's the GOAT, Robin. I don't know why we're rushing at Damian so early, because Damian is more interesting. The tone is literally night and day. Yeah, but that's kind of like a Batman, Superman thing. That's part of the charm of those two together, is like the dark and dour and then the happy, hopeful Superman. If I was Gunn, then at the moment I would just make my own version of Batman and Robin, gamble on the chance that mine is at the same level of Matt's and Robin. I mean, maybe that's what he's going to have to do. But I think the reality is, if you look at it, put all the options on the table, consider the consequences of every version, and I really think the best version is the merge. Like, I just still think that's the best version. It comes with all sorts of drawbacks and difficulties, but it's still better than having two competing Batmans. Like, that's just silly. The loss of Tim Drake could propel Batman into maturity to handle Damian eventually. Yeah, absolutely possible. You can't merge the two together. Gunn's universe is so over the top. Reeves' universe to win a bunch of awards too. Good luck to Gunn. Says Remy. Oh, okay. How do we know it's even Damian and Reeves' script and not Dick Grayson? Oh, we don't. I should have been more clear about that. We absolutely don't. I think it doesn't matter, though, if you have two Robins that you're trying... Like, it just... Like, there's a reason that the studios don't do this. There's a reason that the studios try not to have the same ideas conveyed in similar movies that release within the... Like, it's not a good idea. He's right, Josh. Everyone sees it. Wait, what? Who's right about what? Get rid of the Elseworlds at that point? Yeah. I don't think the Elseworlds is a good idea unless you're gonna use it. Yeah, no, there's been no... I don't think he's actually gonna do Damian. I think it's more likely Dick. I think Matt Reeves is gonna do Dick. And maybe there's a way to set that up so that it's in the same canon and we get Damian in the DCU. Maybe not. All these guys talking about how the tone's being different. That's how it is in the books. That's part of why World's Finest is so fun. Tonal mix. Yeah, I think the tonal mix is like actually the juice. Like that's why it's so fun. Love it. And that's why to take it to the next level, it's like that's why their fight is so fun. Clark is always going to hold back. Bruce will not. Like, they're just fun together like that, you know? Do you think the Batman is powerful enough to jump into Gunn's DCU? Seems to me the Batman they used for the new universe needs to be able to go toe-to-toe with any of the people with powers. He would need to be much more equipped, much better as a fighter, but Batman does learn. So, I think they even say in the movie, Matt Reeves, John, that he's been Batman for 2 years, I think. Don't they say he's been Batman for 2 years? And then I believe there's actually some dialogue where Bruce says, I haven't really made a difference. Like, crime's not actually going down. So he's been Batman for 2 years, and he's actually fucking it up. What if it's Jason Todd? Could be. Could be. That would be Doc. That would be pretty dark. Completely unrelated, but why did he name him Dick? I don't know. Dick Grayson is awesome, though. Motherfuckers love Dick Grayson, man. Awesome, dude. Do you think Gunn should have had Batman show up in other projects like the MCU Hulk until Reeves? Yeah, that could be cool. Kind of like keep him in the shadows, keep hinting at him. I've seen some people have different theories on that and whatnot. I think that would be great. Yeah. Would Pattinson be down for it? Well, we don't know for sure, but Pattinson has made some comments that it appears he would be open to being in the DCU. The Nefarious Aquarius. Whoa, what a name. Says Gunn stole Clayface from Reeves, so Reeves stole Robin from Gunn. I mean, look, that could be what it is, but it's like, damn, bro. Like, yo, fuck. A house divided amongst itself cannot stand. Like, we can't have this. And also, like, Gunn said in his first video ever that, like, DC had been fractured. Like, he seems to have known what the problem is, but, like, hasn't fixed the fracturing. This is a continued fracture. Like, that's not great. And if they're really doing that shit, oh my God. Matt, why? Matt, why? Whatever happened to the Mandarin Sharon Carter? I believe in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She fell on hard times and had to start an OnlyFans. Batman turning into Fox and Disney. Yeah, maybe. Okay, should we talk about Gina Carano and Star Wars? Are we ready to get super political and everybody get really mad? Chat, throw a 1 into the chat if you're ready to get fucking mad. If you're ready to assume all sorts of horrible things about people that have differing political beliefs about you. And if you're willing and ready to get borderline horribly inappropriate and terribly toxic as we try to tear each other down. Hell yeah! Woo! Let's go! Culture war. Culture war. Your side bad. My side good. Okay. So, Gina Carano. Big old W for Gina Carano. This came out yesterday. It surprised a lot of people. Shocked a lot of people, man. Shocked me a little bit, actually. And I'll tell you why in a second. We're over on Discussing Film here. It says Gina Carano and Disney have settled their legal dispute. We look forward to identifying opportunities to work together with Miss Carano in the near future. That's a little strange. Let's read the official statement put out by Disney and see if we can glean any information about how this lawsuit might have gone for each party. The Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Gina Carano to resolve the issues in her pending lawsuit against the companies. Ms. Carano was always well respected by her directors, co-stars, and staff, and she worked hard to perfect her craft while treating her colleagues with kindness and respect. With this lawsuit concluded, we look forward to identifying opportunities to work together with Ms. Carano in the near future. Holy shit. That is a crazy statement. Now, let me ask you this. Were you guys surprised by this? Throw 1 into the chat if you were. Like, anybody get surprised about this? I was surprised by this. Now, the reason I was surprised by this was because I, like many of you, desperately wanted Disney to go into Discovery. Okay? So, because of this lawsuit, which essentially, like, we can TLDR the whole situation, we can go through it all. But basically, like, the lawsuit was that she was fired because of political bias and not because she actually had done anything to warrant being fired. And remember, this is all kind of propped up by Elon Musk because when Elon, purchased Twitter or whatever, one of the things he sort of pushed for was a legal fund that would handle legal cases of where people were wrongfully terminated or hurt by their companies because of social media things they said on social media. And that's like a whole thing, we can get into the details on that, but essentially it's obviously important for people that own mega time social media platforms that they could try to set some precedents against content on the platforms being used to hurt their users. Okay. So that's kind of where it all comes from. I wanted Discovery. Okay. Now what's Discovery? A lot of you probably already know, but essentially it would have been that to actually ascertain the truth of this situation, to say for sure whether or not Disney had fired Gina inappropriately, perhaps illegally, the court would have had to take possession of and reveal emails, internal documents, text messages, servers, all sorts of information about the conduct and the goings-on of Lucasfilm. I had hoped, and I think many people had hoped, that we would get to Discovery with this case because I wanted to see just how fucked up they are over there. And I got to tell you, although we don't know for sure, and what I'm about to say is a little bit of speculation here, the fact that they settled and the fact that Gina is getting this type of a message. It's not an apology per se, which is kind of interesting, but it's about as close as you can get to of the Walt Disney Company being put on their hands and knees and being walked around the pony show. No company wants to make statements like this. This is crazy. So to me, the fact that the statement reads like this, and on top of that, they literally put into writing that she worked hard on her craft and that they're looking for opportunities to work with her in the future, would indicate to me that she basically had them by the fucking balls. And that whatever was in those emails, whatever was in those text messages, which, by the way, does probably, and I shouldn't say this, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but I'm just gonna fucking say it. Pedro Pascal. Probably some shit to do with Pedro Pascal. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. It's allegedly, I don't know anything. Nobody knows anything for sure. But it's absolutely because of Pedro Pascal. Whatever was in those emails and text messages was so fucking bad that Disney cowtailed, capitulated, bent the knee. They fucking gave her everything. Everything. But that also makes it kind of bittersweet. That also makes it a little bit bittersweet. Number one, I'm glad that Gina got paid. She's very likely now the highest paid Star Wars actor ever. Good for you. But again, it's just like a little bit sad. We're never going to know. We're not going to know how fucked up that situation was. We're not going to know the truth of what happened during that whole situation. I've heard some things that I can't say. Yeah, this is a very interesting development. And I think just from the outside looking in, it's like W for Gina, but also kind of an L because we're never going to know what all happened there, right? Now, the next question is like, do we think they're going to hire her back? Yeah, I think they will. I think they will, bro. I think they will. I wouldn't be surprised if they put her into some Mando stuff, maybe even put her into the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And I want them to. I love Gina, man. I think she's a sweet lady. I think she was actually great in The Mandalorian before any of this bullshit happened. We mostly just praised her. And I think across the fandom, people just appreciated how, like, a female that had actual physicality that came from combat sports was in this place, in this world of Star Wars, and really giving us a believable performance of an absolute badass. Like, people just liked that about Gina. So I think this is, ironically, this could actually do a lot of goodwill for Lucasfilm. You know, makes people go softer on them, potentially be more open to watching stuff, especially if Gina is in it. I joked about this yesterday. But I was like this. If they recast Rey with Gina, then they could do the 5 Rey movies, and that would be absolutely incredible. But, yeah, they're not going to do that. But at the same time, W for Gina, man. I think she is probably going to show up in something. We'll see where it goes from there. What do you guys make of this? You think they're going to bring her back? I think they will. I think they will bring her back, and I think it would be good for Star Wars. By the way, a little bit of just to add some stuff on top of this. Yesterday on the Hot Mic podcast, Jeff Snyder hinted that Kathleen Kennedy will actually step down in January. I'm not doing a full segment about this. I'm going to pretend that I am not talking about this because every single time it leaks out when she's going to leave, she extends it. So don't tell anybody. But apparently she is going to be out on January. And I think that's great. And maybe her leaving would open the door for Gina to truly return because I do think she has a great relationship with Dave Filoni. So Dave's probably going to be co-president. That's probably good for Gina. So there you have it. With all of that, any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns on this one, guys? What do you think? What do you think? Because you mentioned it, it won't happen. I didn't mention anything. Please read my member chat when you do the Marvel segment, typing in all caps so it's the chat stands out more. I already forgot who wrote that and what they said. Snyder mentioned it was an aside because she's being approached to produce films for other studios. That's happening because word is out she's leaving Lucasfilm. Great. Don't care. Star Wars is dead. Jesus Christ. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Or do they push her into the new Gosling movie? I would put her into the Gos movie, man. I don't know that the timing wouldn't work, actually, because she's in the Mando period. So the Gos movie is in the sequel era. I think it's like 7 years after episode 9. Yeah. Considering how much brand damage the MCU has had, F4, a franchise peaked in popularity in the 60s, making 520 to 570 wouldn't be too bad of a sign. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think we're going to look at it when it's all said and done, and we'll be like, you know what? That's actually not too bad for Fantastic Four. I would expect the next one to do better, and if it does, we're totally back, you know? But we'll see. Spill the tea, Josh? I cannot, but you can use your imagination. I mean, I don't really want to retrace all of that or whatever, but yeah. Sure, put her in that. It's going to be a train wreck. Anyway, goddamn, Adam! Adam, I thought you were in a good mood. The World Team Championship is going on, man. Ton of Warhammer stuff. I get to play Warhammer on Monday, and I know you're happy for me, you know? What the hell, bro? You know, Warhammer's going to come in and take over anyway. We can at least give the Star Wars fans a little bit of hope in this segment here. Holy shit. Yes, I am, Michael. I would love to see the Discovery, but it's not going to happen. I'm in a good mood for Warhammer. All right, well, let's check on the team championships then. Well, hang on. We're still in the Star Wars segment. Hang on. You opened a can of worms with Pedro and you can't close it, dog? Okay, well, here's what I'll say then. Do you think Pedro Pascal is a very valuable asset to Disney right now? Yeah. So if, just hypothetically, if there was anything in Discovery that would hurt Pedro, wouldn't Disney be incentivized to stop that from going public? Legends of Siege says she compared the treatment of conservatives to Jews in Nazi Germany. She should never come back home. Yeah, but here's the thing. So even if that was the case, I don't actually think that's strictly what she was trying to do. Which, by the way, also a digital lynching of a person that's just trying to make a point like that is a terrible way to prove them wrong, just so you know. But also, even if that were the case, I think you should be protected to be able to say some stuff like that. I don't even think that's such an egregious thing to say. And we also live in a world where people on the left use comparisons to Hitler and Nazi like shorthand for you have wrong think. So, like, I just think the characterization that you just had is so silly. But at the same time, you're perfectly free to feel that way about it. There's a lot of shit that actors say that doesn't sit right with me. I don't think they should lose their job for it. You know what I mean? But hey, if you do, that's cool. You're just an asshole. Like, it's fine. But you're an asshole. You know? I'm an asshole too. But just not in the same way that you are. So. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I mean, even if I grant you that is exactly what it is, I still don't think she should be fired. Like, especially at a time, like, consider the context. The entire fucking world is getting locked down. Everybody's so fucking tense. And everybody's just spending all day online trying to figure out what's going on. And by the way, a lot of the people in those moments that were called conspiracy theorists have somewhat been proven to be correct about various different topics, ideas, and theories that they had. which is another thing that's like people don't like to admit that because, well, frankly, it's like confirmation bias. So we don't want to feel silly. So we just kind of ignore, contradictions and stuff like that. Normal human behavior. But like, brother, truly, I think what happened to her was unjust. Truly. And I believe that. You don't have to believe that. Obviously, a lot of people believed it. And by the way, either it looked like that was going to be the case, or Disney was so terrified of some other fucked up shit that they're willing to capitulate. Is that not more fucked up than even some, even if you called her an uneducated, like she doesn't know the topics or whatever, isn't it potentially more dangerous, evil, toxic, horrible that a corporation has something to hide so much so that they're willing to capitulate to what you view as so wrong? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I get it. I get where people are at with this kind of shit, but I just think you're wrong, man. Like, I just think you're wrong. And I think a lot of people think you're wrong. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people that think you're wrong are going to be like really rude about it. And maybe they can't even articulate why or how you're wrong. But that doesn't mean they're any less justified. It doesn't mean they're any less correct, Mav says, I'm here for that balanced view, Josh. Good work navigating that difficult stuff. The stuff is not difficult. You guys are. The stuff actually doesn't bother me at all. Like, I can put it into every place mentally. I completely understand it. I have empathy for people. I understand why people act the way they act. I understand the shortcomings of the human experience, all that shit. I'm actually good with all of it. The only difficulty is you guys. You guys get so sensitive and apply narrative to it and get so butthurt and jump to conclusions and do all the things that, when I take a step back and think about it, I have a lot of empathy for. But in the moment, it frustrates the fuck out of me. Yeah. So, we're good. Space Trek Serial The Night Primarch. Damn, what a name. Says, Gina survived the worst crime you can do in 2020-2024 by being not being liberal. Glad the Dempire fell, and now Darth KK will be gone. 4 years, Star Wars is free. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Then should we bring back Jonathan Majors? I am not against bringing back Jonathan Majors. I do think these situations are pretty fucking different, though. You know what I mean? Like, when you put your hands on somebody, and I understand it's not quite what people have made it out to be, but yeah, they're just different. Just different, man. You know what I mean? Like, I understand. I just think that's a false equivalency. But at the same time, do I believe in second chances? Hell yeah. Of course. Yeah. They're pretty different, but I understand. Stop streaming during my gym time, damn it. Well, why don't you put the phone down and get that next set done? I'm just trying to motivate you. Sorry. Just trying to motivate you. It wasn't. That relationship was toxic, and they both just dumb for doing what they did. Yeah, but being dumb has consequences, brother. Being with the wrong person has consequences. And in fact, I would argue who you choose as your partner, who you choose to be around, says a hell of a lot about you. And the one thing that I don't see a lot of people saying about Majors was, you chose that partner. You chose that company. You put yourself in that situation. So you have accountability for doing that. And I think he's realized that, to be honest with you. You look at the company he's keeping nowadays, I think he is living a better life, But at the same time, guys, consequences are real. You know what I mean? It's just a law of the universe. Sometimes not even that bad of a fuck up, just at the wrong time, maybe for the wrong person and the wrong perspective, sometimes just a little fuck up can ruin a person. And by the way, Jonathan Majors is not the first person that this has happened to. This has happened to a lot of people throughout history, right? It's tough. I mean, look, I have a lot of empathy for the dude, but also he was on top of the fucking world and was keeping company with a person that was obviously very bad for his mental health, and he was likely bad for her mental health. They didn't get the right help that they needed to have a functional home. These are choices you made when you had the most to lose in the entire universe. Right? So, I mean, that's on him, ultimately. Yeah. Plus, RDJ took first movie for no money because of the risk. Yes. I also think it's funny that we always have think pieces on people we don't actually know. Oh, yeah, of course. I think that's a very human thing too, though, you know, projection and whatnot. They should have recasted Kang and honed in on the familial connection between Reed and Kang. And RDJ Doom would be the hero side and Kang. I mean, that's an interesting idea. I think that would have been good. Yeah. Yeah, that could have been cool. Majors doesn't quite deserve main character role. Well, look, here's what I would say. I think on raw talent, he absolutely deserved it. I think he delivered some incredible work for Marvel. The Loki scenes are incredible. There are even moments in Quantumania that are like, damn. So I think off raw talent, I think he deserves it. But I would argue that it was probably a silly idea for Marvel to put so much on one individual, especially without properly vetting him. Because here's the thing, you know, I like I said, I have a lot of empathy for Majors, and I wish him well. But the reality is there is a breadcrumb trail there. There were people at his school that said things. There were other things that happened in the past. There were things that happened in Europe. There is a breadcrumb trail there. So Disney actually just didn't do their due diligence, or perhaps just didn't properly assess risk versus reward there. So, yeah. Yep. Let me see if I missed anything. Josh wants me to go over his chat, huh? Long time no see, says Eddie. Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? Ah, man. It's good to see you. Thanks for the 10 spot, Eddie. Appreciate you, bro. Aren't you, you were the guy that played like a shit ton of New World, right? You still playing New World? Josh is Batman, Superman is Theory, a dynamic duo. Yeah, I think that's a good pair for us. Gunstole Clayface. Let's see here. What did Joshua say? Joshua says, much love. Evans should stay as Cap as a mentor for Sam. Cap and RDJ should stay as Doom, and we get a new Tony Stark. MCU needs OGs to stay / return to be successful, in my opinion. Nerd Vengers for life. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, brother. I understand what you're saying there. I think they will do this. Because here's the thing. Like, it would be great to have these OG characters and these established characters. The problem is, for Marvel to feel like it used to, I think you need way more crossovers. And those crossovers are just very expensive with the legacy characters for two reasons. Number one, each appearance adds to their sort of legacy. There's like this weird concept thing where basically like, look, what I was told was a part of why Hayden Christensen did not appear in The Rise of Skywalker physically was because if he did, it would bump him up into some other version of royalties because it would have pushed him over to so many movies and then they would have had to pay him more, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how true that is, but I would imagine there is some shit like that. So, you know, maybe like an actual appearance of Hemsworth's Thor popping up in a few X-Men movies, maybe that means the next time you pay him for an actual appearance, it's like way more. I don't know. It seems like what Marvel wants to do is like this. The reason we have the current Fantastic Four is because, frankly, they're more affordable than a lot of the other people they were looking at. and they want to have them in a ton of movies, right? The Avengers movies, the Fantastic Four sequel, the next big event film with the X-Men, all of it. So Pedro, I love Pedro. He's more of a TV star in a lot of ways. He's just not as pricey as, even like a Jake Gyllenhaal or Adam Driver or one of these other big stars. So Pedro's a bit more affordable. He'll get paid a lot more as he continues to do this stuff in the MCU, but he's more affordable than RDJ. He's more affordable than any of the other actors, right? So Marvel needs to build upon the characters that are a little bit more affordable to be all over the place. But I do agree, you need OGs and legacy characters for big staple event movies. Big appearances, shocking things. They just have to be able to figure that out price-wise, right? But I get you, man. I think that's fair. Okay, there's only one other thing on my list today. It's a smaller scoop, guys. It's a Marvel scoop. Is there anything else going on? Anything else we should get into? Any other news bits? What else is going on, huh? What else is going on, huh? Should we check? Let's check in on the Warhammer games for Adam. Check in on the Warhammer games here. Okay, so it looks like in the Canada versus Austria, it looks like the Craft World Eldar are a little bit ahead. This is still within the 5-point swing for a draw. And they're in the top of 3. And it looks like the Blood Angels are doing great. So Team Norway and the Blood Angels here seem to be doing really good against these Chaos Space Marines. Pretty crazy. We'll check back in later. This is a close game right here. That's a close one. Yeah, the Blood Angels is Jonathan. Yeah, I love that dude's channel. I'm happy for him. I'm going to try to go back and watch some of the game. It seems like he's doing pretty good, huh? Have you been watching the game, Adam? Is he doing good? Yeah, I think he's doing good. Tabletop competitive Warhammer, that's awesome. Yeah, so this weekend is the World Team Championships. It's kind of like the Olympics. Each country sends a team of 6 different players, and they all play against 6 other players for a country. They sort of tally all the points together. Last year, Team USA, and I believe it was the first year Team USA went to the tournament. Maybe not, though. But Team USA came in second, only being beat by Sweden. So, yeah. Right now, I'm going to be watching all weekend, rooting for the USA. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Okay, one last thing I want to talk about here, and it's not that big of a deal. It's sort of a smaller bit here. So, obviously, Spider-Man filming this week, a lot of people taking set photos, a lot of leaks and rumors coming out about it. By the way, I have a massive Spider-Man video that's going to drop tomorrow where I go into everything that's been revealed. It's a nice, condensed, and fun, edited video. I think it's going to be a banger. I want to put a little more touches on it. It'll be ready to go tomorrow. So look out for that on the main channel. But as for today, what we're looking at, little rumor from Christian Harloff earlier this week. Did you guys see this? Sadie Sink. Okay, Sadie Sink is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. She has a big role in the film. This was teased and revealed in the Hollywood trades, right? Now, there's been a lot of questions about, like, who is she playing? There was, maybe she's Jean Grey, maybe she's a version of MJ. Well, just this week, Christian Harloff said that a very reliable source told him that Sadie Sink will be Gwen Stacy. Pretty interesting, man. So are we actually going to see a Gwen Stacy, like traditional Gwen Stacy thing, like meaning maybe she dies and that is the darkness, right? Because we keep hearing that this movie's going to be dark. This is going to be one of the darkest Spider-Man movies. Are we doing another version that's literally just Gwen Stacy dying? That would be kind of crazy. In the middle of all this shit, that would be wild. But also, there's been some indication that she would be a version of Gwen that's actually Spider-Gwen. Okay? So one of the things, like, and this kind of brings me into another topic here with regards to Spider-Man. I'm kind of confused about this. I've been confused about this. This is now a movie. It's the movie before Doomsday. Okay? And yet it seems like, you look at the set photos, you look at the leaks, it seems like it's going to be kind of grounded, and it's not multiversal. Okay? And yet, the next movie after it is like the biggest fucking multiversal movie of all time. Right? And I'm kind of wondering, like, are they going to do anything multiverse? Like, is Spider-Man Brand New Day legitimately just going to be a cool new Spider-Man movie? And then, like, all of a sudden we're going to get into Doomsday and it's the craziest fucking thing ever. And, like, Peter's the anchor being and Doom's coming for him and all this shit. Like, really? Is that really what it's going to be? I'm not so sure. Right? Because, first of all, let's talk about the Venom rumor. Okay? The Venom rumor is interesting because it could be the way that Hulk becomes Savage. Obviously, the Venom symbiote was left in the 616 after the post-credit scene of No Way Home when Tom Hardy's Venom gets jettisoned back to his universe. So there's a thing of Venom that's in the 616. Now, a long, long time ago, I heard that Spider-Man himself was going to die in this movie. That in Spider-Man 4, Tom Holland was going to die, and then the Venom symbiote was going to go into his grave and literally resurrect him. Bring him back to life. Okay? That's fucking crazy, right? That would have been like some Kraven the Last Hunt shit, and then it would have been a way to get the symbiote suit onto Peter, which is another rumor. We've heard this rumor, right? Like, they want Peter in the black suit, the Venom symbiote suit, for the Secret Wars movie, at the very least, potentially for Doomsday as well, right? So you're like, okay, that's out there. Was all of that completely abandoned? The other thing that's wild about Venom is Venom obviously connects to the multiverse. This was something they were setting up in those post-credit scenes. Venom instantly knew who Spider-Man was, and then there are these lines between him and Eddie where he says, billions of years of hive mind knowledge from separate universes would melt your brain. So, like, the symbiote in Venom has knowledge of the entire multiverse and potentially has an ability to feel where other symbiotes are and what is going on in other universes, right? So if Venom's really a part of this film, it just makes me think maybe we will get to some multiversal stuff. Maybe Marvel has this sort of crazy plan to make this movie just a Spider-Man movie, but then all of a sudden it cracks open into a multiversal film as well. Because there are still rumors of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being in this movie. Those are long-standing. It kind of seems like they might have changed. Maybe they didn't change. Not really sure. But they certainly are rumors that have been lingering out there for a long, long time. And then there's all these things about Doctor Doom. So remember in the Production Weekly thing that was released years ago, Doctor Doom is mentioned. RDJ Doctor Doom is mentioned. I do wonder if that's at all still on the table, and will that be connected to the multiverse at all? So Gwen Stacy in and of itself is interesting. If it's Gwen Stacy as Spider-Gwen, that's even more interesting. And I just got to say, like, for the sake of fun, I would like this. I would like a Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, whatever. I would like that. And I would like her to be in Secret Wars. I think it's a really fun character. I think it's really fun for a lot of fans. She's great in the Across the Spider-Verse films. So I'd prefer that that's what it is. If it's not, though, I mean, I'm a little less excited. Like, I don't want just standard Gwen. Maybe it would be cool if like that's actually going to be his new love interest and they're actually going to do that for the rest of the trilogy, because we did hear some rumors that like MJ and Zendaya, she doesn't really want to be involved in the Spider-Man thing anymore, so maybe they need a new love interest. Maybe that's what it is. But either way, I wanted to bring this up because I think a lot of the attention right now is on, Punisher, Hulk, potentially Venom, maybe Silver Samurai and Viper and all that kind of stuff. But don't forget that Sadie Sink has a huge role in this movie. Like, she's second lead, basically, from what I understand. And if she is Gwen, that means we're either entering into this new chapter with Peter and we're going to kind of go through the motions with the Gwen stuff, or potentially they're cracking this thing open and doing some multiversal stuff. So that's what's happening with that. So I wonder, man, like, what do you guys think of that? Specifically with the Gwen casting, what do you think this will be? And what would you like it to be? Venomized Gwen. Venomized Gwen would be kind of cool. I also thought it would be wild if this movie was just everybody becoming venomized, like a big Venom symbiote outbreak kind of thing, almost like Spider Island, but with symbiotes. That would be crazy. Yeah. I wonder, man. Yeah, me too. Toby is definitely the anchor being of his universe, so surely he'll be in Doomsday. I don't know if he'll be in Doomsday. I would expect him in Secret Wars, for sure. She's Gwenom, and she's awesome. Hey, that would be sick, dude. I wouldn't be mad about that. I do think it'll be Spider-Gwen returning Peter about Doom and anchor beings. Yeah, something like that is all you need. I mean, like, that's it. Like, that's all you need is just a little something like that. And then we're off to the races. Like Marvel Rivals. Yeah, a little bit, huh? They may wait for Venom for Secret Wars. It's possible. You never know. The movie's just had so many changes over the past couple of years. It's hard to say. But yeah, the Gwen thing was interesting. I was like, oh, yeah. I almost forgot that, like, Sadie's a big part of this movie. She's Mayday from the future. Yeah, but, I mean, Harloff's saying Gwen. Like that. And that feels pretty specific. And he's kind of saying he's really sure. They need to squash the anchor being rhetoric. Yeah, I hope it goes away after Secret Wars and never comes back. It's a silly idea, in my opinion. Well, we heard that the movie would start as grounded, transform into multiversal, finally turn into cosmic. We did hear that, but it's hard to say whether that still applies to the film. Seems like Marvel has really changed this movie, and with the delay of Doomsday, it's no longer Battleworld at all. I heard it was potentially going to be Battleworld at one point, but not anymore. Because if you got Venom in Battleworld, that's Cap picking up Mjolnir's situation. Fair, yeah. Epic. Yeah, I get you. No multiverse, says Archangel. Okay, fine. No multiverse for you. Okay, you're all multiversed out. You know what else bugs me about this whole anti-multiverse shit? Like, look at No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and Deadpool and Wolverine. The most successful movies Marvel has made since Endgame. Guardians 3 was close, but it didn't make as much as Multiverse of Madness. All of those movies are multiverse movies. Like, I feel like this whole... And then, like, you look at Fantastic Four. We were talking about this on the Discord last night. It seems like they took a lot of the multiverse elements out of Fantastic Four, maybe in an attempt to make it more simple and streamlined. It didn't seem to matter. Like, it just... I don't think that's really it. Like, people will say, like, oh, we're sick of the multiverse. Dude, their behavior would suggest otherwise. Like, you know what I'm saying? Josh, does Punisher get some sort of super serum in Brand New Day? Probably not, brother. Spider-Man fans just want classic Spider-Man stories. I think there's truth in that. I think there's a lot of Spider-Man fans that want that. And I'm not necessarily against it. I mean, it'll, bring the nostalgia back. But I also I want to see something new with the character. Like, I'd really like to see something new. Like, there's a part of me that, like, with the DCU and the current state of Marvel, especially as we get into X-Men, like, are we really going to go through, like, the first 5 years of Superman and X-Men, like, again? Like, I'm kind of over it. I want to see something new. Like, I'd rather us do Krakoa in the MCU, because at least that's, like, crazy, new. They could do some mind-blowing stuff with it. Yeah, I've not heard that rumor, but I'm just telling you, like I think Christian's got really good sources, so I believe Christian. They confusing. Deadpool Wolverine did TVA and multiverse as a side tangent. They didn't add much to the equation, just added new variables. That's my opinion. Yeah, but like literally all the best elements of it only exist because of the multiverse. You have the cameo thing with Cavill and all the other versions. Peak, Blade, Gambit, Daphne, all of them only exist because of the multiverse. Like you can't have any of the fun stuff that movie does without the multiverse. Krakoa would have been a great start for the new MCU. It would be different. It would be different. And different can be fun. I like different. Yeah, no? I've moved on to game movies, bro. I'd rather see a Drizzt trilogy. That would be peak. That would be great. That would be great. Drizzt Do'Urden is such an awesome character, man. Love that character. Yeah, maybe they would do. What if Drizzt teams up with Sean or Chris Pine and his crew for the next one? Like, what if it's like Dungeons and Dragons 2, chilling with Drizzt? That'd be fun. Cyberpunk movie would go hard. It would be great. Yeah. That would be fun, dude. And then his Panther, what's the Panther? Guinevere, I think. Yeah, I know my Drizzt, bro. I read a lot of those R.A. Salvatore books. Those were great. I remember the one where he's with the Ranger and they fortify this Ranger's like wooden base out in the middle of nowhere against all these like raiders. That shit was great. I like the novel where he's in the Underdark with that one gnome. That shit was cool. I like those books, bro. MCU X-Men starts after they go through the Siege Perilous, and the legacy of their old selves are hanging over them, and all they gather to fight Apocalypse and go crazy cosmic in the third act. I like that. I think that's a cool idea, man. Yeah, that would be good. But yeah, that's the basic news out there. Gwen, I don't know how this all ties together. It's kind of making me think we're gonna get into some multiversal stuff, but we shall see when it comes to Spider-Man. We shall see when it comes to Spider-Man. Spider-Man. All right, anyway, that's all the news. That's everything that's going on. Should we watch these Warhammer games together here? Oh, it looks like this one just concluded. Oh, okay. No, those are the... Hang on. So that's the current standings of the armies. Wait. Where is it? What the hell? What the hell? Missed it. All right, they're still really close here. Let's see what's going on.
It was going to be decided by turn 3, and then we were going to be just twiddling our thumbs for an hour and a half.
Yeah, Riley's crushing, man. Romania predicting large loss into Latvia. Well, we saw how good Latvia is.
They're freaking amazing.
Latvia's good, apparently.
Normal guy. Because a normal guy. Cool. And we have 4 Dark Lord.
I love what Scary is doing with his Scourges right now, because they're in the position of use it or lose it. They're going to get picked. They're eventually going to get picked away and killed by the the Tempest launchers. So he's just using them as like screen.
Okay, so they're doing good there. Let's see how this dude's doing. Yeah, he's doing great, dude. The Blood Angels did. Jonathan's killing it.
It's kind of bad that I don't really have any other targets. Yeah.
Adam, why is he playing for Team Norway? Isn't he American? The fuck? Why is he playing for Team Norway? That doesn't make any sense. What is he, a traitor? Is he a traitor? If you need a good nap, watch Warhammer. Hey, whoa, hey now. When do we get Warhammer emojis? Ooh, maybe I should work on those. That sounds kind of fun. Yeah, we could do that. I'm going to try to do some painting today and over the weekend. Because like I said, we're playing on Monday. I'd love to have a bunch of my models painted up all nice for Monday. Leia was laying in here. I'm going to go check on her in a little bit here. Said he's moving back to the States next year. Oh, he lives there? Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't realize that. Interesting. Okay. Then he gets a pass. Kalen says, Marvel and DC should drop more video games to build hype and get younger audiences. Oh, I agree, man. I agree. I think that would be a great way to do it. Maybe they can. Maybe some of these animated projects are the way to do it, you know? Very cool. Very cool. It's been a week, man. It's been a week, you know? We'll probably chill for like 5-10 more minutes, guys, and we'll get on out of here. Appreciate y'all today, though. Oh, it's been a week. Been mad busy, so I'm mad. I've been missing this week. Can you get a hot take week recap TLDR? Here's what I would say. Marvel is dead. Warhammer is the future. But also, if you say Marvel is dead, I'm triggered and mad, and Marvel's not dead. How dare you? Shut the fuck up. I have all the best opinions. Chat has all the worst opinions. Star Wars is totally fucked, but maybe not. Gina Carano should be Rey. Yeah, I think that's about it. How's the dog? She's doing good, man. She's starting to get her spirits back, wagging her tail more, barking at more things. She's eating better. She's going to the bathroom good. She's taking her meds good. She's being good, man. Maryland, there's a Warhammer store 5 minutes. Dude, go into the Warhammer store. Just go in. Just get into that store. And then you'll see. You'll be like, damn. Hey, Josh, quick question. How do you manage your work with your family stuff? I had my first kid a little bit ago with your daughter. I'm finding it hard to get the basics done. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's challenging. I think the thing you got to do is you just got to be a little bit more flexible. Try to keep stock of what needs handled, but also understand that, like, kids are just going to have things happen at inconvenient times. And you're going to be a little bit more distracted than you were before. But it's an ongoing struggle, man, you know? We're trying to figure it out over here. Obviously, like, I have the benefit of working from home, but at the same time, the kids are at home too. So it's like difficult to get all the work done that I want. So you just you gotta kind of just do the best you can, man. Yeah, it is pretty crazy, but it's one of those things that, I don't know, you just get up every day and you just figure it out as best you can every day, you know? Thanks, Justin. Appreciate that. And also, it's not, the Warhammer's the best. You'll see. What would you say if a new Lucasfilm regime remade Star Wars with George Lucas advising the story direction? Sure. Yeah, I'd be down. That'd be cool. Best fart hammer video game to get into? A lot of them look very similar from an outside perspective, but I'm also intrigued by a strategy game. I would say it kind of depends on what you like. Do you like XCOM? If you like XCOM and that kind of combat, I would say Chaos Gate Demon Hunter. That's the one. Rogue Trader's really good too. I like Space Marine, but Space Marine's just like action, shoot bolt rifle kind of shit, you know? Yeah, I know. Only tabletop game I play is old Star Trek game, but it's basically all on paper, and I lost interest. Warhammer is way better than that, right? How'd you get it started? Yeah, I mean, So I've played a lot of strategy games over the years, and I really like strategy games. You know, a lot of like tabletop. Like, so I played X-Wing a lot. I played HeroClix. Played Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons. You know, and then like smaller like little games like Gloomhaven or like Outer Rim for Star Wars is like awesome. Or Pathfinder, you know, some of these games. So I've done a lot of tabletop gaming and RPG gaming. I got into Warhammer because they made Magic the Gathering decks, and I was looking into that, and then I started to like learn the lore, and I was like, yo, this lore is really interesting, and then I just kind of like got more and more into the lore. And I was like, you know what? Like maybe I would get into the tabletop game, and I kind of looked into that, and then just kind of slowly fell in love with that. Yeah, I bought some minis, tried painting, was terrible. You know, bought some stuff off eBay, kind of like eventually figured out what army I wanted. And then I learned a lot of the game at the end of 9th edition, mostly on Custodes. And then in 10th edition, I have Custodes and Dark Angels. Yeah. Should Marvel invest more in making Elseworld animated shows inspired by anime? Oh, I like that. Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah. My favorite tabletop game is Monopoly. Monopoly's a fun game. I like Monopoly, man. I like playing Monopoly with a group of good friends, you know? Pretty fun. Dark Angels lore is dope. Yeah. Yeah. I think they have incredible lore. And they're also the best. So I like that they're the best. Doomsday isn't coming out next year, considering the script isn't even finished. Oh, dude, totally. Totally agree. We're boned. I'm going to watch Weapons right after you're done. Oh, yeah? People are excited about Weapons, huh? I'm going to be real. Eyes of Wakanda was way better than I expected. That's good. I mean, I can't sit here and say that's bad. That's great. You know, for the people that check it out, they should have a good experience with it. It would be terrible if, like, you know, you came in here and you were like, that shit sucks. You know? I love the Necrons, but I find the lore to be great. Yeah, the Necrons are really cool. I like their lore a lot. They are very interesting. And technically the most powerful faction in the setting, probably. Going to watch Weapons tonight. Oh, that's nice. Cards Against Humanity. That's a good one, man. You know, one of my favorite games is a drinking game called Drunk Quest. Oh, it's so cool. It's like a deck builder, like a version of Pathfinder, except all the monsters, you fight them with drinks. So, like, a monster will be like 6 drinks. So you have to take like 6 sips or like a shot. And that's how you, like, do combat. But then there's ways to, like, cast a spell and make a monster, like, double in strength. So then they have to drink, like, 12 drinks and shit like that. Dude, some of the best times ever were playing that game in college with a bunch of people. Very fun. Very cool. Yeah. The White Scars are the best. You know, I just was reading Lion, Son of the Forest, and there's a part in there where one of the Dark Angels is talking about how they basically taught the White Scars how to be good on their bikes, because they were, of course, the First Legion, and they, before the White Scars were like large enough to be a whole fighting force, there were entire sections of the Dark Angels that were already like fast attack. Like they had basically already mastered that part of combat before the White Scars really even existed as a legion. And this Dark Angel was like commenting on that and just being like super cocky about it, that like every other legion just learned everything they learned from them. But the White Scars are cool. Like I like the White Scars, and they are very fast. They do go fast. They're just not the best. You know? I missed a Warhammer convo. No, start over. Oh, it was more of like anecdote. It was more of a like fanboyish boast about my chapter. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, everybody. Well, I think I'm going to get out of here, man. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here, though. I think we had a good week. A lot of fun topics. A lot of emotions as we cope with, maybe a falling apart film industry. Maybe a falling apart comic book film genre. Maybe everything's fine and everybody's just losing their mind for no reason. I don't know. But it's been a good week. It's been a fun one. I am exhausted, though, from all the stuff with, like, the family and the dogs and everything. So I'm probably just going to chill out, maybe paint for the rest of the day. Clips will go up tomorrow. Big old Spider-Man video dropping tomorrow. It's a chunky boy, and I think you're going to love it. So make sure you check that out. I'm working on DC videos. I'm working on Marvel videos. I'm not working on Star Wars videos, but I'm keeping an open mind about some Star Wars stuff. And then I'm working on Warhammer videos. So a lot of videos coming out to you guys soon. We'll be back at it next week. I think it's going to be a good-ass week next week, man. I think it's going to be a good-ass week next week. I got some fun ideas. I'm actually looking forward, hopefully, to the news slowing down just a little bit because there's other cool stuff we could be doing. You know what I mean? I want to get into some stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun in the next couple of weeks. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you so much. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. No matter what happens, just keep on dancing. All right. Yeah, all right. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. Oh, man. Oh, man. We did it again. We did it again. Another one. And we'll be back at it again next week, too. Oh, hell yeah. All right, everybody. You get out there, touch some grass, have some laughs, man. I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy your weekend. Do me a favor. Actually, make it 2. Oh, open up your third eye. And wash out your stinky butthole. Okay, see you later.